The Hungarian Grand Prix didn't just leave Red Bull off the podium, it sent shockwaves through the team. After qualifying a miserable 8th and finishing 9th, Verstappen made a brutal confession to the media. "At this rate, we're not winning again this season." It wasn't a sarcastic throwaway. It was a cold, sobering assessment from the man who dominated the sport for years. For a driver like Verstappen to speak that candidly, something had to be seriously wrong. Yet, within hours, Red Bull's leadership scrambled to control the fallout. Team boss Laurent Mekies, only in his second race leading the squad, hit back, calling Hungary an outlier and assuring that McLaren's dominance was track-specific, not a sign of Red Bull's collapse. But behind Mekies' carefully crafted optimism, fans and insiders alike are wondering, is the once-invincible Red Bull project finally crumbling? Or is this all part of a much bigger game we're only beginning to understand? If you care about the real power plays in F1, what's happening inside Red Bull right now is something you need to watch. Don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because the truth is often buried beneath the surface in this sport, and we're here to uncover it. Let's get something straight. Red Bull didn't just have a bad weekend in Hungary. They had an existential crisis. From the moment the RB21 hit the tarmac in Budapest, it looked completely lost. Verstappen's radio messages painted a bleak picture. Nothing works. That wasn't just post-session frustration. It was a controlled demolition of confidence. And when a team built on precision starts to unravel, you don't just lose lap time. You lose direction. McLaren, on the other hand, has entered a golden age. Their 7th 1-2 finish of the season wasn't a fluke. It was the cold execution of a car and team that have figured out the game. The MCL39 is not only fast, it's frighteningly adaptable. Fast in a straight line, planted in corners, and kind to tyres. And when a team like Red Bull, who once owned the field, is made to look ordinary, the entire F1 ecosystem takes notice. That's what pushed Verstappen to make the unthinkable statement, "We're not winning again this season." A 4-time world champion who spent the last few years rewriting the record books now publicly admits defeat midway through the calendar. That's not just uncharacteristic, it's historic. But is it true? Red Bull team boss Laurent Mekies immediately pushed back. His message, "Calm down." Hungary, he said, was a one-off, a track-specific outlier, a tough but valuable lesson. According to him, Red Bull has always struggled at circuits with low-speed corners, high temperatures, and rapid tyre degradation. And Hungary checks all those boxes. He pointed to Verstappen's sprint win at Spa as proof the car still has fight left in it. But here's the uncomfortable reality. This isn't just about Hungary. Red Bull has only won 2 races in 2025. That's not bad luck, that's a trend. And in F1, trends are usually the result of deeper structural issues, whether it's in philosophy, development, or leadership. And speaking of leadership, this is Mekies' second race as team principal. He stepped into the role at a time when Red Bull was already on the back foot. Christian Horner's departure left a vacuum in the team's identity, and while Mekies brings experience and calm, he doesn't yet command the same level of authority in crisis. That dynamic matters, especially when the driver you're managing is Max Verstappen, known for demanding the best and never sugarcoating what he sees. Internally, rumours are swirling. Some say the RB21's foundational design, built to enhance Verstappen's pinpoint turn-in style, is now being punished by this year's Pirelli compounds, which require a more progressive load profile. Others suggest that Red Bull spread its development resources too thin early in the year, experimenting with aggressive upgrades before scrapping entire concepts. There's even talk that Red Bull's focus is shifting quietly toward 2026, prioritising the upcoming engine formula where they'll debut their fully in-house power unit with Ford. But if that's true, if they are sacrificing the present for the future, why not just admit it? Because in F1, perception is everything. Sponsors, stakeholders, fans, they want to believe a team is always fighting. Admitting that you're playing the long game is fine in theory, but disastrous for morale in the short term. That's why you get this strange duality in Red Bull's messaging. A driver waving the white flag, and a team principal insisting they're still in the war. There's also the possibility of internal strategic misalignment. Mekies and Helmut Marko are publicly aligned in their optimism, both pointing to tyre temperature and low-speed instability as temporary problems. But behind the scenes, their approaches may differ. Marko is known for pushing aggressive responses, changing direction rapidly when needed. Mekies, more process-driven, may prefer a steadier hand. That contrast could either stabilise the ship or split it further. And what about Verstappen? His words matter more than any engineer's simulation or wind tunnel result. He's the face of the project. When he says, "We're not winning again," it forces everyone to reassess, from aero department to pit wall. It's possible that Verstappen, always the tactician, made the statement deliberately to apply pressure, force change, and signal that mediocrity won't be tolerated. Red Bull is used to being hunted. They're not used to being helpless. But what if this isn't just pressure? What if this is prophecy? If the RB21's issues persist into circuits like Zandvoort, Monza, or Baku, the narrative shifts from one bad weekend to seasonal collapse. That would have ripple effects far beyond points or podiums. It would impact Verstappen's future, Red Bull's driver pipeline, and even their commercial leverage heading into the regulation reset. And don't underestimate the psychological damage. Once a team believes it's lost its edge, regaining it isn't just about upgrades. It's about identity. Right now, Red Bull is in limbo. Not dominant, not dismal, but disturbingly beatable. And in F1, beatable is all the motivation your rivals need. If there's one silver lining, it's that Red Bull knows how to respond under fire. They've faced technical bans, budget cap drama, and leadership changes, and still won championships. So maybe this is just another chapter in their reinvention. So, what do you think? Is Verstappen's brutal honesty a wake-up call that Red Bull desperately needed? Or is it the first sign that the dynasty is finally cracking? Can Mekies steer the team back into contention? Or are we witnessing a power shift that no one at Milton Keynes can stop? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more deep dive F1 stories just like this one. The battle for 2025 is far from over, and the next twist might just be the biggest one yet.